Hello everybody and welcome back to the 11 a.m. STEAM train for kids in kindergarten to 2nd grade. I'm Mr. Dorian with New Minds and I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson. Now today we're going to learn something a little bit different. We're going to learn a little bit about ourselves and how we can talk about ourselves and the things that we feel. The things we're going to need for today's lesson is we're going to need something to color with. So we're going to need some crayons, some markers, whatever you like to color with the best, maybe even colored pencils. You're going to need just one piece of paper. That's all you need for today. And as always, a pair of scissors. Make sure if you're not sure how to use scissors, ask your parents for help. So sometimes when you're around the world that you live in, you're going to feel all sorts of different things. Maybe you just got a brand new Hot Wheels car and you feel really happy. Maybe you lost that Hot Wheels car at the playground and now you're sad. Maybe you're worried about something, or maybe you're upset about something. All these different emotions are things that we feel, and we have different ways to show them. One way is actually with our face, right? We can change our face, and we have all sorts of different things. We can lift our eyebrows up, we can move them down, we can make them smush together, we can make them move apart. And the same thing with our mouth. We can smile, we can frown, we can make a weird face. We can do all sorts of different things, but all of these have different meanings. The same thing happens with colors. When you see a color, it actually makes you feel certain things. So we're going to do a little experiment. I'm going to add a color to the page, and you're going to think about what it makes you feel. You can even say it out loud if you need to. So our first color we're going to do is red. When you see red, what does it make you think of? Do you think it's a happy color? Do you think it's a sad color? Do you think it's an angry color? So I'm going to color a nice big block of red. You don't have to do this with me. This is just an experiment, but you can if you want to, and label them if you'd like. So red is our first color. When you see the color red, people usually think of something that's angry or a little upset. Maybe they're a little irritated. Or it makes them think of stop, like a stop sign. But it could be more than this. Red could be a color of love when you see a heart. So all these different colors are going to go through different things. So we're going to go through 6 of them. And we're going to make something really cool that we can use to help show more emotion. And we can talk about how we feel a little better. The next one we're going to do is blue. When you see blue, most people think of the ocean. They think of something calming. But sometimes it can be a little sad. If everything around you was all blue and blue colored, you might think it was a sad place. Maybe someone lost their Hot Wheels at the playground. That happens. Blue is our next color, and it's a little bit of a sadder color. But we're not always angry or sad. Sometimes we're really happy or we're excited. A really good color for being happy is green. Green can also be other things. If you've ever seen the movie Inside Out, you'll see that all the characters are different colors. There's joy, who's yellow. There's disgust, who's green. There's sad, who's blue. There's angry, who's red. And there's the purple one, who's worried sometimes. But green can also be a very happy color. Think of a green light. Think of green grass. Think of trees. All those things are alive and they make you feel happy. And sometimes you're even more than happy. You're excited. Maybe you got to go on an awesome field trip today. Maybe you are going to get something new. Maybe you just brought home a new puppy. All sorts of different things can make you excited. But those usually make people think of orange. It's kind of hard to see, it's a little bit light, but orange is the next color, and that's more of an excited color. And maybe you just really love something. You love your family, you love your friends, maybe it's Valentine's Day, and you see this color everywhere, and that's pink. Pink is a very loving color, it's very soft, makes you feel really happy, and you just want to be with more people around you. And that's what pink is going to do. This one doesn't quite show up. It's a little bit light. I'll hold it a little closer. And the last color we're going to do is yellow. This can be happy, but it can also be a little bit confused. Maybe you're frightened, like not really like a scared, but you just got like, oh, you surprised me. Yellow is a very happy, it's a very energy color. And it makes you energetic, surprised, and happy. But all of these, they're just colors. They could be on a fire truck. They could be of the water, they could be of the grass, but they make you feel different ways. So we're going to make something really cool to show how we feel, and maybe we can use it to talk to our family sometimes. Because I know if I get really upset sometimes, it's hard to use my words, and sometimes it's easier to show someone with a picture. So I'm going to make you a super awesome tool so you can show people how you feel without getting upset. Maybe you don't want to accidentally say something mean. You just want to be nice to your family, right? Because you want to still be friends with them. So this is a good way that you can show different emotions, and it'll help you with a lot of things. Especially if you have a really awesome life, you're going to have a lot of things to talk about, and you want to have a lot of emotions. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a super awesome face that we can change the emotions of, and we can make all sorts of cool stuff. But we're going to have to draw the parts. The first thing we're going to make is we need the eyes. It's not quite a face unless it has eyes on it. We can do these in a couple different ways. I'm going to do mine as 2 really big circles. You can color them however you want, but you want to make them nice and big so you can use this. So I'm going to draw my 2 circles. And you notice I drew mine in the corner of the page. That's because I'm going to use the rest of this page for all sorts of different pieces, and then I'm going to cut them all out. So these are going to be my circles for my eyes. I'm going to add a little bit of extra details on them, just to make them pretty cool. So these are my eyes. I added a little eyelid and a little pupil. And now we need our eyebrows. Our eyebrows can be really straight or they can be really curved. So I'm going to make 2 sets. To make a curved eyebrow, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a big half circle. Just like this. Like the letter N if I stretched it out. And then under it, I'm going to draw another half circle. So it almost looks like a rainbow. And then I'm going to connect the 2 lines across, and I'll have my first eyebrow. Just like this. And then we're going to draw one more, because you don't just have 1 eyebrow, you have 2. Just like that. But eyebrows aren't always curved, and they can sometimes be straight. So I'm going to make some straight eyebrows, but just drawing a rectangle. I'm actually going to make 2 of them, because we still do have 2 eyebrows. Just like that. I made a nice rectangle. And you notice I'm leaving white space in the middle. That's because later we can go back and color these and make it a really bright and awesome face. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And now we have 2 sets of eyebrows. We have some curved ones and we have some straight ones. You can get silly later and make your own type of eyebrows. If anybody has ever played the Wii, where you make your own character called a me, there's like 100 different types of eyebrows you can choose. So they don't just have to be these, but these are going to help you with a lot of different things. But now we need a nose. There's a couple ways to draw a nose, but you only have one. If I'm angry or upset or happy or excited, my nose doesn't really change that much. So you only need to draw one, but I'm going to give you a couple different ideas of how you could draw it. If you need a big nose, you can draw a little circle, almost like the letter C, and then you turn it sideways and you have a big nose. If you want to draw a really small nose, you can just do a triangle, just like that. Or if you want to do a fancy nose, you can kind of draw straight lines down, just like that. Add 2 bumps on the sides, and then add 2 little nose holes, which are just going to be like the letter D, and you're going to color them in. So now I have 3 different noses. I only have to draw 1 nose. We only need 1. And sometimes you don't need a nose at all if you don't want to. But this is one way you could draw a nose. And then the last one is we're going to draw 3 mouths. The first one, we're going to do a big happy face. That could also be a big frown if we needed to. So I'm just going to draw the letter D, but sideways. So it looks like a really big mouth. I drew this way, it could be a sad face, or if I turn it over, it could be a happy face. And we're going to draw a straight line mouth, just like these eyebrows, but a little bigger, so we have a nice rectangle. Now we have a mouth. And then the last one, we're going to do a squiggly mouth. So I'm going to draw a big squiggle, just like this. I'm going to go down a little bit and draw another squiggle. So now we have two. And then I'm going to connect the sides so we have a mouth. And now it's time for the next step, which is a really fun step. We get to color all of these in. You can make them whatever color you want. The only rule I'm going to add is if you have two eyebrows, they have to be the same color. It's kind of weird if you had one green eyebrow and one red eyebrow. You want them to both be green or both be red. But you can make everything else whatever color you want it to be. Maybe you're feeling really happy that day and you have a lot of greens and yellows. Maybe you feel all sorts of stuff and you have all the colors. That's okay. You can even add colors you haven't seen yet, like brown or black or gray. That's all right. As you're doing this, I want you to think about your favorite cartoons. All of them are going to have different shapes, faces, but they're all drawn on. They actually do that so you can see their different emotions. When a cartoon character is angry, they're going to draw their mouth different than if they're happy. Their mouth changes and does all sorts of different things so they can show you what emotion the character's feeling. Sometimes you notice if a character's red, their head's going to turn all red and their smoke's going to come out of the ears because they're angry. Or if they're really sad, they might have their head kind of shrink a little bit and be a little more sad and blue. Well, I'm going to start coloring mine in, and then we'll move on to the next step. Take your time and make it look really nice. I'm only going to color a couple of mine for now, just so I can show you guys the next step we're going to do with it. But have fun with it, and see if you can color inside your own lines, like you made your own coloring book today. While you're coloring, think about some of the things you feel this morning. Maybe when you had breakfast, you were really happy with what you had. Maybe you dropped something and you're a little upset about it. Maybe you found out something awesome and you were super surprised. Think about all those things, and we're going to use some of those emotions later. So I just colored in my eyebrows first. I made them both red. I'm going to color in this big nose. I'm going to make it purple, because I think that's a cool color for a nose. I wish I had a purple nose. You can use your imagination. You don't have to draw like I did. You can make up your own way. And maybe if you need some help, your parents can help you with drawing. They can do an outline and then you can color it in. So now I have my nose. And the next thing we need is I'm going to draw a mouth, and then I'm going to color in my eyes. I'm just going to use one for an example. So next I'm going to use orange. I haven't used orange yet. I'm going to color this in. And then I'm going to start cutting out my pieces. Remember, you always want to be careful, but this is almost going to be like a face puzzle. So we're going to cut out every piece around the lines. This big nose, I'm just going to cut across the top. The same thing with this one because it's not surrounded by lines. And this will be part of a face we're going to put together. So I'm going to cut out all my pieces. I have a little bag here. You might want to get one of these if you want to keep using your pieces, and you can save them for later. So I'll put these in here when I'm all finished, and I want to make sure to clean up my work. I'm going to start cutting these out. It might take a little bit, but it's going to be worth it because we're going to have a super awesome project that we can use for all sorts of stuff. Something else that's cool is if someone makes a mask, like all sorts of people throughout history have made all sorts of masks, some of those masks are meant to make you feel certain ways. If you have something like a dragon mask, they're going to have a really big wide open mouth and they're really happy. Maybe if you have something like a mask that's meant to keep something away, you're going to have a big scary face on it and big eyebrows and all sorts of things. So this is kind of cool because that's them showing emotions with something else other than their own face. They get to make something else that'll show the same emotions. You guys have probably seen all sorts of masks throughout history, and they're all really cool. And if you see the face they have, you can probably tell what they're for. If they're a happy mask, they're probably for a celebration. If you've ever been to a play or a theater, you might have seen two masks. One is really happy and one is really sad. So those are the show comedy and tragedy, which is the two things that most plays were based off of, where one's really funny or one's really sad and dramatic. Well, that's going to happen. So I have my mouth cut out first. This one can be a sad face or it can be a happy face. This one I can make it a neutral face. It's not really feeling anything. I could turn it sideways to make it like a smirk or a frown. And I have this wobbly one. You don't have to cut them out perfect. You can make them a little bit nicer later. But I'm going to keep cutting out my noses next. And don't forget, you don't have to color them all now. You can always color them later, and they are double-sided. So if you need some more time or you want some more colors, you can always color the back a different way. Maybe one side is red and one side is green. So you can have one that's happy and one that's angry. It's up to you, and it is your project. But we're going to use this as a tool to kind of show how we feel. I'm going to cut out my triangle nose next. It's going to be pretty easy. Just 3 cuts. 1, 2, 3. Because there's 3 sides on this triangle. And you can even start to think about what other shapes can be parts of your face. We know your eyes are circles, your eyebrows can be rectangles, and your nose can be a triangle. But what other letters or shapes can make cool faces? What if your eyes look like the letter A? That could work sometimes. Maybe your mouth is shaped like the letter E and you have like a big tooth in it. All those different things can be cool ways to draw. And you never know unless you try it out. Maybe you can try and draw a face using only letters. That sounds like a cool experiment you could try on your own. Now I'm going to start cutting out my eyes. These are going to be really important because every face has eyes on it. And your eyes don't really change that much. But your eyebrows, which are right above them, are going to be really important. So they need something to be above. So I have one eye cut out. I'm going to get the second one out. Almost there. Awesome. And last thing I need is my eyebrows. Whew! I did a lot of cutting, but we're almost at the end. Cut out my eyebrows. I almost forgot to say hi to Kingston. How are you, Kingston? I hope you're doing well. Cut out both of my eyebrows. And then I'm going to cut them apart. That's 1. And that's 2. So now I have my straight eyebrows. And the last thing I need is my curved eyebrows. These might be a little bit tricky to cut out, but I think if I keep trying, I'm going to get it. They don't have to be perfect. There we go. I have them cut out a little bit, and now I just have to separate them. And that's 1 done. And that's 2 done. Now I just got to separate them. And there we go. It's not perfect, but it will tell me the point, and then we will move on to our next part, where we get to make our faces. I'm going to do something a little different so it's easier for you guys to see, but all you need is you need a piece of paper to lay it on, and it could be any color. So you're going to lay your pieces and arrange them in the shape of a face on paper. I would do something colored if you have white pieces, but if you have colored pieces, I would use white paper. I'm actually going to do mine with magnets so I can stand it up and you guys can see, but you don't have to do it this way. You can just arrange them on a page. If you do want to use magnets, but you don't have something magnetic, I'm just using an old baking sheet that we used to make brownies in, and I can start to arrange my face. So I'm going to have these black magnets be my eyes. They're going to hold them up. Just a reminder, you don't have to do it this way. So here's the start of our face. We do see some eyes. You can always do this just laying it on a piece of paper so you can keep arranging them. I'm going to add some eyebrows first, and I think I'm going to try and make a happy face first. So we need some happy rounded eyebrows. I'm going to give him a big nose. And I'm going to give him a mouth. So now I have a happy face to start out. But maybe I'm not feeling super happy right now, and I want to make it a little bit upset. Maybe I can change the mouth a little bit. Make it a straight line across. This is a little hard to see, so I am going to scoot it up. Maybe I want the eyebrows to be a little bit slanted. Just like this. And there we go. Now I have an upset face. Hi, Asher. So we have our little upset face. And all we did was we changed the mouth and we changed the eyebrows. Remember, this isn't just a fun thing to make faces. This can be a tool that can really help you. Because sometimes it's hard to find words for the things that we're feeling. So if you're upset and you want to let everyone know, but you don't want to accidentally yell at someone or it's kind of hard for you to talk right now, you can always make this face and show and be like, I'm a little upset. And they can be like, okay. And then you can find some help to feel a little better. Because you always want, if you're a little upset or you're a little sad, you want to make your day a little bit better. And the people around you are there to help you. So let's see if we can make a surprised face. I'm going to make this a happy mouth again. I'm going to use the same eyebrows, but I'm going to slant them up. And now, I have a happy surprise face. So you can do all sorts of different things. You can make all sorts of different eyes and eyebrows and all sorts of cool stuff for your face. But this is just to get you started and see what you can make. And if you really want to change the emotion, you can take a big colored piece of paper, like this green one I'm going to use. Let me make it nice and even. I'm reusing some supplies from my other day so I don't make a big mess and I don't waste a bunch of things. So I'm using the same piece of paper. I'm going to put it behind this face and see if I can make it a happier face. So I'm going to take my pieces off. And remember, you don't have to use magnets. You can just lay this flat, but it's a little easier for everyone to see if I put it up on this sheet. I'm going to move everything away. I'm going to put my eyes on first, so we have our green friend here. And I think we got to give him a name once we make him a face. So I'm going to call him Webster. That's going to be his name for today. And we want to make him, let's give him this nose. I think that's a nice nose to have. We're going to give him, where's my squiggly face? There we go. And something cool, you can even make attachments. This squiggly face can be a mustache. And then we can combine it with this. So now he's wearing a mustache. So you can make your faces silly too, and it can be a lot of fun. So now we have our mustache friend, and we're going to make him, he's actually an evil genius. So he's going to have some angry eyebrows because he has a secret plan. So you can do this for all sorts of things. You can make your own characters. You can make your own faces. You can even make a puppet show and use one of our older activities and have the people's faces on a little chart. So that's all I have for today for the STEAM train. I hope you guys have enjoyed this lesson. Show me all the awesome faces and things you're feeling by either leaving an emoji in the comments or showing us the faces you made with the picture. I'm Doran with New Minds, and I hope you guys have all enjoyed the STEAM train.